Hello everybody, welcome back to Bedrock Survival with Fix, episode 199. The actually kind of last real episode. We'll do a world tour next episode, and then we are saying goodbye to this sort of general area. I'm harvesting up some stuff for what we're going to be working on today, but before we get into too much of that, I wanted to do a Q&A. You know, I haven't done one in a very, very long time, and as most of you know, my channel has grown a whole lot recently, so that means I have a whole bunch of new friends and who maybe don't know very much about me, and I thought this would be a great chance to talk about me, the YouTube thing, the Fixaverse, the family, the whole bit, everything, anything you want to know. I will be doing some building this episode. I'm working on a small little farming hamlet, and I really want to finish all the houses for my silver tier patrons and YouTube members, just so we start season 2 with a clean slate. Yeah, I know gold tier members, I haven't done your places yet. Those are all going to be part of the Inquisitor kingdom starting in season 2. We're going to be talking a little bit more about season 2 as part of some questions, but without further ado, let's jump right in because I'm going to get to as many questions as I possibly can. Dylan Blackburn says, Fixxitt412, how does it work? I need to know about Singularity and Sheriff, but still. Yeah, I'm going to get all into that. Probably the next episode you see on the channel is going to be not a 100 days video, not a survival video, but actually a Fixxitt412 explained video. I've been working on almost like a documentary style video, putting the script together, some voiceovers, going to have clips from different episodes that really explain out all of it. It's going to show the timeline. It's going to show who the characters are, the relations between everyone, and all that kind of stuff. If you don't know, my 100 days videos, they are all connected in the same universe. In fact, we're going to learn in not too long that a heck of a lot more is connected in that same universe as well. Fahim Unissa says, question, would you be willing to make 100 days as One Punch Man in a super tough, hardcore modded world? Is One Punch Man, is that anime? I'm not really into anime, to be honest, if that's what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is. But I did want to bring up this question because people often ask me to do like RL Craft or another incredibly hard mod pack, and that doesn't really work great for me because my goal is telling a great story and also, you know, playing legitimate 100 days hardcore and all that stuff. But for me to tell a good story, it doesn't mean that like grinding the hardest possible pack, like doing an expert pack or something like that. I'd just be lucky to get a tiny bit of progression in that, and that is not super entertaining. So generally, I'm not going to say I pick the easy mod packs, but I don't pick the hard ones. And, you know, easy, medium, regular, whatever, all that is fine. Just Here says, how do you think you, as a storyteller and father, have evolved during this journey on YouTube? I know it's my second question, but can you blame me? I was binging Tovlin, and let's see where this adventure leads us. Well, I love binging Tovlin. That's nice to see. So, you know, it's interesting. When I started YouTube, I started only solely, literally the only reason why was just to document my progress doing cool builds, so I thought. And although my builds at that time were pretty simple compared to what I do these days, but still, that was my entire goal. I had never had a goal to be a YouTuber. I'll be totally honest, I don't even think I knew that being a YouTuber, quote unquote, was even a thing, really. I just thought like, oh, there's this cool YouTube thing. I can just throw up videos just to like go back and look and see what the base looked like back then. And then it wasn't until probably a couple years later that I really decided to try to actually improve the production and the quality of my videos and all that kind of stuff, and then saw, you know, a wee tiny little bit of success. And then it wasn't until very, very recently that I saw, you know, a real nice boost up in my channel. So I don't know, you know, I don't think that I'm really that much different from those first videos when I had my son sleeping on my chest. That's actually why I started, because he was just born. He was only a week or two old, and he would only sleep on my chest. We couldn't lay him down for a single second, and I was so scared that if I lay down, I would fall asleep, and I'd like roll over on him. I was so terrified of that. So I just like played Minecraft on my computer chair all the time. I thought, well, I might as well just record. I'll just use this little crappy Radio Shack headset, and that's what I started on. So if you guys can listen to my first videos, please don't. But if you do, that's pretty much what you're going to hear. You're going to hear like, hello, everybody, because my son was sleeping like 4 inches away from my mouth. So, yeah. So, you know, I don't know that it's changed me that much. I feel like it's really nice that I have a lot more people seeing the builds and listening to the stories I have to tell, because, you know, when you're telling a story to, you know, maybe a dozen people, you know, after a while, you're like, what am I even really doing this for? And then when you're telling to a lot more, it's a nice feeling. It's a really nice feeling. So I think that's really the only way it's changed me, is it's just made me a little happier that people are checking out my stories and my world building, all that kind of stuff. Weapon Knight 9 says, after Season 1 World is done, are you going to do Season 2 on Java or stay on Bedrock? Why? Yeah, I'm going to stay on Bedrock because we're staying in the same world. We're just moving kind of to the other side of this little bay to put the Inquisitors base. The whole point of this world, the way I've wanted to do is I've wanted to build everything right in the same general area, not super spread out. So the thought of restarting has never really even occurred to me, to be totally honest. And the mountain update is one thing that I have thought about. It's like, oh, it'd be really nice to have big mountains in my world, but I can prune, and I will prune right around the area and maybe get some close mountains or at least some bigger caves and stuff. So, yeah, I'll be staying on Bedrock. I love the Bedrock engine. There are a couple things I don't like. I wish we had replay mod, and I wish we had access to connected textures, but other than that, I think Bedrock is, for the most part, the better engine, to be honest. I know. Show me some hate in the comments. I know. But I love it. I love how far you can see. I love how incredibly smooth it is. It's just, for a world builder, it's the way to go. Kid the Gamer, my friend and YouTube member. Hey, look at that red F beside his name. Ooh, how cool is that? Hey, Fix, beautiful dog. Just curious, my friend, which editor do you use? I use Filmora. I think it's probably the best editor I've ever used. It's kind of like a souped-up version of Windows Movie Maker, which is kind of amazing. Very user-friendly, and that's it right there. A lot of easy click and drag stuff. Mikolik682 says, question, how long does recording of a 100-day video take? It's really hard to say. It depends a lot on how hard the mod pack is, how hard the storyline is to kind of get together and all that. Usually I edit the script sort of while I'm recording, and that takes a lot of time too. The main reason why I don't live stream them probably is because a lot of it will be silently me sitting there writing the script out. I would say it takes between 10 and 13, 14 days to get the gameplay down, and then another between 2 and 4 days to edit, depending on if I'm working a lot or not. If you don't know, I'm a full-time musician. That's kind of my day job. So I work nights now that the world is slowly coming back to normal, and so I'm playing gigs again and all that, and it's good, but I have less time to actually record and edit and all that stuff. And then during the day, I'm with my two boys, so I can't play really during then. So my main recording time is after they go to bed, around 9:30 p.m. until as long as I can stay awake. So that doesn't leave that many hours in the day to actually, play Minecraft, but I try to maximize my time. Dino Gamer asks, do you have a main character in your new Fixaverse? How does the zombie apocalypse fit in your universe? Zombie apocalypse happens kind of after the bombs drop, which sort of kicks off the bunker one. We learned in the bunker videos that it turns out it wasn't a nuclear bomb. It was actually sort of a mutagen that created zombies and pathogens and all that kind of stuff, and the parasites and everything. So it all kind of connects. The zombie video fits around the same time as the Wasteland video. In fact, if you watch very, very closely, there is a little bit of a crossover there where the characters sort of meet. So you just got to keep your eyes open. Ender Sable Eye says, do you have any tips or a good way to get inspiration for building? Yeah, concept art. Concept art is an amazing source of just unbelievable ideas. And I never search Minecraft builds because I feel like if I search Minecraft build, that's just going to be copying from someone else something I already did. But yeah, concept art is unbelievable. And if you want to get better at building, I would follow some tutorials, look at Mythical Sauces, check out Jarrahcraft, check out Flip, check out Germsy Boy, those guys. They're unbelievable, and they make stuff that you can watch and figure out. Mr. Sparkle asks, question, will you make it, or is there some sort of wiki World Anvil campfire page for the Fixaverse? All the lore is awesome, but kind of hard to keep track of. I'm not planning on doing that. I've done that before for an SMP. I play on the Realm of Vastin, but I think this is going to be better addressed during a video, and like I said earlier in this video, the next thing I put out on the channel is very likely to be that Fixaverse explained video that will really just sort of break it down in a very logical, timeline-oriented sort of thing. I wanted to do out the lore very slowly going through it, but I understand that with time jumps and with things not being presented in chronological order, that can be kind of difficult to get the big picture in your head. I think this video will clear that up. Just Here says, what do you think the future of your channel looks like, upload-wise, and just how the content will change or stay the same? I don't know. By the way, love your work. Makes my weekends worth it. That's very, very kind. Thank you so much. I do plan on adding one more series to the channel, and I haven't decided what that is going to be. My main idea for the channel is going to be continue sort of the 100 days standalone modded playthroughs that continue sort of the journey through the Fixaverse, and then secondarily work on the new series from Tovlin that I'm about to start after the World Tour. So I'm going to talk more about that in the next video. That's where I'm really going to introduce that series. But trust me, if you like the 100 Days stuff, you're going to love the next Survival Let's Play version. It's not going to be 100 Days. It's going to be something, I believe, better. So hang out there and get ready for it. It's going to be very, very cool. Then I do want to add a third series to the channel because I think 3 is kind of the sweet spot of numbers that gives you a lot of grind time between, and I haven't decided what that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a modded playthrough or if it's going to be something multiplayer or what. I just haven't decided yet, so I'm sort of feeling out and seeing how I feel and going with the flow. Trail Plays Reborn says, how do the Inquisitors become so evil? You know, if I do my job right, and I don't know if I'm this skilled, but if I do my job right as a storyteller, you might not think that they're that evil. The best villains think that they're doing the right thing. Thanos, for example, was a great villain in Marvel movies, and one of the reasons why he was so great is because he really believed that he was the good guy of the story. Like, he wasn't just bad for bad's sake. That's not a compelling villain. The best villains in history, well, best is maybe not the right word, but the most well-known villains in actual history thought that they were doing the right thing. Now, we all mostly disagree and don't think that they were, but they believed it, and it makes for a very compelling character. So, characters like the Emperor, the Emperor wasn't just evil for evil's sake in Star Wars. He thought he was actually bringing peace to the galaxy. That makes for a good villain. The Inquisitors think that they're the good guys of the story. Now, you and me may disagree. I may sort of paint them as the bad guys in the narrative, but they believe that they're the right one. They think they have the just cause. That's if I do my job right. F-Lord says, which video has been your favorite to make so far? Probably a tie between the colony video from this world, because it was vanilla and I really enjoy vanilla Minecraft, and the bunker video because I like the idea of stone block. I've always wanted to build a bunker, and that was sort of a dream come true for me. So I'd say the first bunker video or the colony video were my favorite two to record. BCFB21 says, I guess if I have a question or two. My first question is twofold. What has your favorite on 100 Days been? Just answer that. What is your favorite character to make been? I really enjoy the Master Mage. I think he had a really interesting arc, and not totally done yet. We're still working on that. The other part was, do you play other games other than Minecraft? I really, really want to. I actually have a second channel, which, by the way, if you go over and subscribe to that, and I can get 1,000 subscribers somehow, then I will do more mobile live streams from my cell phone, not gaming, like other stuff. So I just need to get that 1,000. So if you don't mind, hey, jump over there and hit subscribe. It'll be linked down in the description below. But that's where I play The Witcher and Elder Scrolls and some games like that, which I generally play to get Minecraft inspiration kind of too, but it's been a lot of fun. But since my channel has really done very well here recently, I've kind of stopped doing those because I just don't have time. I'm trying to sort of capitalize on the YouTube gains that I've made here recently, strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. It's a very interesting question from Salbs here. Could you explain how the Realm of Vastin came to become the multiplayer server that it is, how it started, etc.? I think you probably mentioned in other videos before the Vastin series, but there are a lot of new subscribers, and they probably didn't subscribe specifically with Vastin in mind. Yeah, I think that's fair to say, because I haven't done a Vastin video in many months now at this point. So if you don't know, the Realm of Vastin was my single-player world, kind of. It was single-player because I wanted to build huge, giant, epic, sprawling things, and I wanted to build them kind of quickly, and I just didn't have that much time, especially when my kids were very, very, very young. So I recruited some of my friends who used to play modded with me, and we came over and started a vanilla server. And basically the idea is we all work in the same place all the time together. We don't go off and do our own thing. We all build in the same place. Realm of Vastin is still going. I'm just on a bit of a hiatus, even though I started about 5 years ago or so. So the reason why I became multiplayer was just because I wanted to build kind of like what I'm doing in Tovlin, but I didn't have time, and so I brought my friends in, and we all work in the same place. That way it kind of feels like a single player world, even though it is actually multiplayer, weirdly. It's its own unique thing. I don't really know any other server that's like it. It's really awesome, and the builders there are absolutely amazing. If you want to check out some just absolutely epic builds, just Google Realm of Vastin and check out my friends. You can also find their videos linked on Discord. I have a special Realm of Vastin video channel where they're the only ones allowed to post there, so you can check that out as well. Zane Lexo asks, would you consider making a magical city like in WoW? I think your builds look amazing in the theme, plus it would give you an excuse to work on something new if you wanted. Yes, I would absolutely consider it. I'll tell you this, I have way more plans than I have time to actually do them. There are so many different themed builds that I want to do, but I got to go first things first, because, you know, playing in a single player world without bouncing around a lot, it does take a long time. So we'll probably be with the Inquisitors for quite some time before we actually branch out and do another sort of themed kingdom, because I want the Inquisitors, as they should be, to be a very immense and imposing kingdom. Ghostbin, another YouTube member. Look, check out the green F. Woo! Thanks, Ghostbin. 2 questions. Number 1, how's Oliver? Oliver's our new little puppy, and he is doing great. He's a little nippy. I wish he was less nippy, but, you know, he is kind of nippy. And then asks, since things like time travel and anomalies in space-time continuum are more or less canon in the Fixaverse, could that mean that you die in a recording, creates an alternate timeline while depending on character that... I didn't do the read more. Oops. The entire story changes in one timeline. Have you been watching Loki? Have you been watching Loki like I have been? Because that kind of sounds like the plot of Loki. Time travel is a one-off. It's a one-time thing. I don't like writing time travel stories. Time travel, once you start it, and this is what I'm a little bit worried about with the Avengers franchise, to be totally honest, because once you start time travel, it is hard to put the cork back in that bottle. Basically, it can answer any question, like, oops, the bad guy won, that's okay, let's just do time travel, right? So, in the Fixaverse, time travel was a one-time thing. The singularity, boom, it got sent back in time. That's it. There's no more going back in time. Portals don't send you back in time, all that kind of stuff. If you travel in space, it takes a long time to get wherever you're getting. It's not instantaneous. That would be kind of time travel, too. So... for plot convenience, it was once, but then other than that, we won't do time travel again. The great YouTuber, good friend, Vastnir, new dad, Rascal Shiro asks, how do you manage family YouTube gigs? Are there any new ideas for Vastin series? Why do you craft so many crafting tables? Is Rascal your inspiration? Yes, of course. I'll just skip right to that one. Cats or bees? Do you like surprises? Please answer in given order. Okay, how do you manage family YouTube gig? That's probably the hardest one. You know, family and gigs have to come first. They have to, because if there's a gig, I have to do it. Gig isn't like a day job where I can call in sick. I can't. If I have a gig, I have to be there, like, no matter what. That's just how it works. That's the business. You know, I can sub out if it's pre-discussed way far in advance, but I can't just, like, miss because something came up. So those have to come first. I do YouTube when I can, which is, again, like I say, very, very, very late at night. New ideas for Vastin series? No, I have no new ideas. I've just not been inspired for a really long time. I think that I played on that for so many years that I don't know. I wish I could put into words more, but I can't. Cats or bees? Bees, I guess. I'm allergic to cats. And do you like surprises? Kind of. I like surprises if they taste good. And that's about it. Like, surprise me for what's for dinner. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Another Realm of Vastin member, Juxie, who's actually one of the best builders I've ever seen ever in my life. Juxie's an amazing builder. Have you ever thought about doing builds this style other than classical European medieval style again? Something like an Egyptian style or Japanese style would be really cool to see. Last time we saw something other than European medieval was back in White Sands Realm of Vastin. Yeah, you're right. You know, when I started this world, because I was building the First Kingdom, I wanted the First Kingdom to sort of be your standard medieval thing, and then with each additional kingdom go into different styles. What I didn't really plan is going 200 episodes straight in the same exact thing, but that's just how long it took doing, 4 castles and different bases and all the farms and everything else I had to do. So yeah, the Inquisitors will have an absolutely different style than what I've ever done before. I think you'll really like it, and it's going to be really different. I'm going to have to do a lot of test builds because it's going to be a new style to me, but that's a good thing. I do plan on branching out now that I'm basically done with sort of my standard European medieval Minecraft sort of thing. I do want to branch out. Every different kingdom will have a different style. Yes, for sure. That's a great comment and a great point. Klautos, who's going to be joining us on our world tour next. If your jazzman is ever in need of a shredhead for some guest metal guitarist to accompany your trumpet playing, would you pay me in Dogecoin? I only understand about half that question, to be totally honest, but yes, anything for you, buddy, for sure, 100%. I'm kind of going backwards chronologically as I pick out the questions here. So Andy says, a second quick question, but I haven't yet gotten to the first. Will you be bringing back comment of the day for the new Bedrock season? Do you guys like comment of the day? You know, I kind of let it go because I kind of felt like maybe people didn't really love it or care about that much. I would love to know in the comments. It's kind of funny. Could you leave me a comment saying if you want the comment or question of the day? It would be really great. What's nice about it is it fills a little bit of time making the videos a little bit longer, and it answers very specific questions. And it's kind of, I don't really do shout outs, but it's kind of a way to get a shout out, because if you're a really good comment, then I'll sort of, give you a shout out. Regardless, I don't know. Tell me. You tell me. Do you like that? Yes or no? Slayer X 1771X says, are you going to make videos with your friends? I assume you mean 100 days content, and the answer is no, basically. I just described sort of how I can record, which is very late at night, and an hour here, half an hour there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That's really impossible to actually schedule that with friends. I'd love to. It would be really fun. I have talked to Juxie Boy about doing one together, and just the logistics of setting it up are just impractical to impossible. Chitranju Singh, maybe, says, will you start a new survival world after the end or just 100 days content? I covered this before, but I want to just be very, very clear. This world is not ending. I'm transitioning from the typical Let's Play format into a new format that I think everyone will really, really like. I don't really want to go into it yet because I haven't worked out the kinks yet. I'm not keeping a secret. It's just that I haven't absolutely decided how it's going to go. But trust me, you're going to like it. I've been working really, really hard on scripting things and getting everything set up. So this world will continue. The 100 days thing will also continue, but both will continue. And then again, I want to add a third series at some point whenever the time is right. The Magical Berry, who is a YouTuber and does some really, really great Bedrock map reviews, says, do you edit your videos? And if so, how do you get them out so quickly? To shorten it down, how do you manage your time? Yeah, I edit. I have no team. It's all me. I've been approached since my channel has done pretty well here recently by a few editors, but one of these 100-day format videos, it takes like I record all the footage and then edit down. So I have minimum 10 if I sleep and maximum 20 if I don't sleep in a day, minutes per day times 100. So we're looking at a whole lot of hours of footage, and it's just not really possible. Plus, the way I do it is I write the script after. As soon as I'm done recording a day, I hit stop record, pause the game, and then go over and write the script. In fact, sometimes I forget to pause the game and just kind of go AFK. And so that's why sometimes, like, the day counter, if you ever notice it, the day counter may say, like, I think someone called in a comment. It's like, hey, it said day 77. Really, you were only saying it was day 48. Yeah, I'm sure that's just because I went AFK while I wrote the script for, like, day after day after day sometimes, just because, I forget to hit pause or whatever. But yeah, so that's my process. And then, if you do that, then when it comes down to editing, you're kind of just reading from your script and then finding the clips that match your script in the day. So it's not too bad. The last couple videos, I've gotten my process down a little bit better where I don't need to record the whole day. I kind of can record the parts that I know I'm going to want to talk about. The only problem is if you do that, it speeds up editing a lot, which is really great, but it slows down. Like if something surprising happens, you're not recording, and that's really a drag. So it's not the best system, but it does dramatically speed up editing. Project Renaissance Man says, strange question, where do you write the scripts? Do you have a specific spot in your home? Yeah, I'm on the computer. So I have an office where I teach trumpet lessons and also practice trumpet and also do my Minecraft stuff. It's kind of just my little man cave hole. Boring question was, how do you start making videos? I think I talked about that earlier on, is just to sort of document the progress of my worlds. And boring question from my girlfriend, your voice puts me to sleep. Or I guess it's a question, your voice puts me to sleep? I'd say I'm sorry, but honestly, we're like 23 minutes into this video, so if she's listening, she is sound asleep by now. So, pleasant dreams. Andy Days, who, by the way, not only is a YouTube member and a patron and a friend, but also he puts out really, really, really good Pocket Edition content. One of the few actual Pocket, not just Bedrock, but Pocket Edition players I know. What made you start playing Minecraft and uploading to YouTube? And also Q&A, you haven't done one of these in a while. Yeah, you're right. It's been a long, long time. Well, I already covered why I started sort of uploading to YouTube, but the reason why I started playing Minecraft was because my wife now, when we were dating, lived about an hour away from me. So, and I had a dog, and I don't have a day job. I just play at night. So I could go over and stay with her a lot, and then sometimes I just stay there the next day when she was gone at work. So I'd be in her apartment for the whole day with nothing to do except for take my dog for a couple walks, and that was it. So I downloaded Minecraft on my phone, or actually I think it was a Kindle Fire tablet, and I thought, this seems kind of cool. And so I started watching a couple YouTube videos to figure out how to do it. And then I found PSJ, Legend of the Hoodie, which is kind of a light role play Ars Magica playthrough, and I was totally hooked. Basically, as soon as I went home, I bought the Java edition and figured out how to play with mods. So I skipped vanilla completely for years and just played only modded, and only came back to vanilla whenever I started the Realm of Vast. And that was my very first vanilla world ever. Good friend, supporter, and YouTuber Dennisy asked on Discord, "Hey Fix, how do you stay motivated to tell these amazing stories?" Because I'm a builder, and whenever I say I'm a builder, everyone assumes I just mean blocks, but I mean a lot more than that. I'm a builder. I've always been a builder. I love building things. When I was a kid and I used to play with my Legos and my G.I. Joes, I would set up these big, complex battles with storylines and everything, but I would never play it. Like, how you see kids in movies where they sort of smash their Transformers together and get them out. I never did that. I just set up the story. I wanted to tell the story. I didn't really care about playing, I probably should have been an author if I could go back and sort of redo my life again, because I love telling a good story. So for me, either building a story, building a character. I loved World of Warcraft back when I used to play it because it was a character that I could build, and I sort of built these little storylines in my own head about who my character was. It wasn't straight role play or anything, but it was just kind of coming up with motivations for who my character was. So when Minecraft came out, this just made everything. It made sense to me. I could build a world where literally I built every block in the world. In addition, though, I built the story and all this stuff. And now that I'm working on sort of connecting all the worlds together, it is so much fun. I just think about it so much, trying to come up with more interesting ways to sort of connect things and interesting ideas for who the Inquisitors are and who Bob is and who this NASA is and who the other world. I love it. I love it so much. I could talk right now. I'm getting so excited about it. I love it. Another question on my Discord, again from a supporter, Sheryusu, says, "I was wondering what inspired you to make the world with all the lore that it has." I pretty much just answered that, but I wanted to make sure they gave this a full-fledged answer. Building a world by itself has never been super fascinating or interesting to me, but building a world with lore is. For example, I would never want to just make a baker without sort of knowing in my own head, even if I don't talk about it on video or make a big Wikipedia post or whatever, but I want to kind of know who that baker is, who the baker is, where the baker works, who his wife was, where his wife came from, all that kind of stuff. I want to know the whole story, even if it's just in my own head, because that is world building and not just building a world, if that makes sense. Casman7 says, "Is it like a multiverse, so next season will be a totally different story?" No, the way I work that is every world has its own sort of system. So when the singularity exploded, caused by the experiment that went awry between the sheriff and the black goat over orbiting Tovlin, it sort of sent out like a wave that went through the entire universe. And as each planet got hit, for one thing, it turned from a regular old real-life looking planet into this sort of cube-based voxel planet that we have. That's right, I even explained the voxels of Minecraft. But then also, each world gained sort of its own properties. So, for example, that's how I explain how could Botania work on one world but not another? How could the Bunker World have access to things like Ender.io or Cursed Earth and that stuff? But there are some things that are in all the worlds that's what we're really going to dig into next season from, again, the same world. But what are the Inquisitors doing? Do they have something to do with the same zombies being on every world? The same skeletons? Enderman, what's that all about? The Nether. What is the Nether and where did it come from? It's all going to be explained. It's all connected. There's a storyline for all of it. I can't wait to tell you it. Our good friend Jim Girdler, who I think has been to every live stream I've ever done, asked, "What are the hopes for the future of your channel?" That's a tough question because it's a big one. I would really like to get to 100,000 subscribers. It was a number that I never really dreamt was possible after doing YouTube for years and not having anything like that. But at this point now, I feel like we're close enough. 1 million is not possible, really. I mean, it is, but it isn't, if you know what I'm saying. So 100,000 would be probably my last sort of big number ever, and that would be a huge big number to get. So I'm not counting 8 chickens before they're hatched, but that would be a huge number. Other than that, what I'd really like to do, really, on my YouTube channel, is I would like to bring all of my new 100 Days friends who are so awesome and wonderful and great, and I love y'all so much, and I'd like to bring you all over to my Let's Play sort of world, this Tovlin, which is why I'm doing a new series on it that's going to sort of combine the best of both worlds, well, so to speak. And because Let's Plays are where I'm at. That's my love. I've always grown up watching Let's Plays. I grow up as an adult, but grow up in my Minecraft life watching B-Dubs and Wells and Germ and Flip and Sausage and Nash and Pearl Gemini. I mean, geez, so many people. Logical Geek Boy, I love his series. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Prowl has a great one. Blue Jay, Pixel Riffs. I mean, holy cow, the list goes on and on. Waddles has a great series going on now. Of course, Paul Source Jr. has a great one. It never ends. Farzy, my new YouTuber friend, I just found out about Farzy, and I freaking love his videos. So, I mean, there are so many great Let's Plays out there, but unfortunately, a lot of them are either done or on hiatus. And my hopes for my channel would be that I could somehow work out a format of Let's Play that would be popular enough to be my main sort of go-to on the channel, because that's what I love to do. I don't really love doing tutorials. The 100 Days thing is fun, but I think we can all agree that that's not going to be around forever. It's kind of a fad right now. So, yeah, I mean, Let's Play is where it's at for me. That's why I keep going alternate, between I'll do a new 100 Days video and then I'll do a Let's Play, because I want, hey, everybody, check out my Let's Play. It's really fun. You get to hang out with me. I think that's fun anyway. So, yeah, that's my hopes. Ethan Kimball says, are there going to be seasons to the Fixaverse or just one big story? Yeah, it'll just be one big story that just keeps going. Like, Percy Baskin was a new character. That's what we'll do, is we'll just keep introducing new characters and then follow them for a little while and then introduce a new character. There are literally infinite things we can do with it. There won't ever need to be a second season. We'll just keep going, maybe do occasional resets and things just so people understand what is going on, or we'll do some Cliff Notes videos and that kind of stuff. Eric Wallace says, I suggest you don't start season 2 with it all being tied into one another. Further down the road, you should allow the viewers to make the connection, kind of like the beginning of season 1. This is a really insightful post. It really, really is true. It's exactly the way I've been thinking about it. I don't want to start season 2, episode 1 with a lot of baggage. It's too complicated. People will check out. So the Inquisitor season 2 of this world is going to be different. It's not going to be called season 2 either. It's going to be called its own thing. It will be connected, everyone here knows, but it won't be obvious that it's connected. We're just going to be following this sort of dark group of people called the Inquisitors and try to figure out what they're all about. Also, I'll be building it not as a roleplay, but as myself too, but with some elements of storytelling within the videos. So, yeah, I think it'll, again, be best of both worlds, but yeah, you're exactly right, Eric. That's a really good point. And Jim Gurnall asks another question that says, what is your view as a builder of your builds being used by others to make their own in the world? Assuming they give you credit, or don't you worry about it. At this point in Minecraft viewers on YouTube, it's just hard to say one person owns a build. Obviously, this would exclude someone ripping a structure from a world download into one's own world and claiming it for the world. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we don't do world downloads on the Realm of Vast and ever. Like, we've never given one out. That's why I generally am going forward, only give this out to supporters, because I don't want necessarily people to, post this all over Instagram and say, hey, look what I built. Because I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen to Flip. We talked about it a while ago. That happened. I've seen that happen to Sausage. It happens. And it stinks. You work really hard. And Minecraft isn't ultimately, it's an art, really. It's a game, yeah. I try to tell my friends who aren't video gamers at all. They're like, oh, you're going to go play your dumb, zombie games. Yeah. Yes, it has zombies. I can't lie about that. Yeah, it does. But that's the smallest part of the game. This really is just like painting. It's like making a Bob Ross painting that you can actually live inside. And that's the way I look at it. I know there are things you can do like Bed Wars and whatever else. But for me, I look at it as like we're creating a painting, a 3-dimensional painting. So, yeah, it's very personal to me, the things that I build, and if it got ripped off, it would kind of bum me out, especially if it got ripped off, as I've seen it happen by like a big YouTuber. I've seen that happen before. That sucks, but there's nothing you can really do about it outside of making a stink on Twitter or something. So, I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it probably inevitably will, and I'll be a little bummed for a day, but then, come back and try to build something else that's even cooler. Anyway, hey, you know what, guys? I think we're done with the questions because I'm out of time. We're way over 30 minutes, and also, this village is pretty much done. Let's take a look at it. All right, I want to say special thank you. Everyone who put in questions, whether I got to them or not, I think I did about 32 questions, but I know there were still a lot more that I didn't get to, so I'm sorry. I only had so much time. But thank you to everyone who submitted questions. I asked, and within just a couple hours, it was all full of questions. So that's really, really kind of you all. Thank you. So let's talk about this village. I think that it has turned out pretty well. There's still a little love it needs to get, and it needs huge, enormous crop fields, which we will get to planning as probably part of Season 2 or just down the road, because this is, after all, a farming village. One of the things I tried to do with these houses, I tried to do a different kind of roof. It didn't go over well on stream when I tried it, but hopefully now that you see it all, you're like, yeah, you know what, Fix, maybe you were right. And I tried to use the either pink, red, or orange terracotta, and yeah, I think it works. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's kind of cool. It's not crazy bright or crazy colored. I just think it looks like a different kind of shingle. So yeah. Take that, everybody who said that I stunk on my live stream. No, you didn't say. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much to my patrons, my YouTube members, all the people that hung out through this video. Next video will be the Fixaverse Explained, and the one after that will be World Tour episode 200 with our good friend Klautos. I love you all so much, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.